Good morning, students. This video is going to be a continuation of the previous video. So in this video, we're going to discuss about the dynamic random access memory. Static memories are fast but come at a higher cost. Their cells require several transistors. Less expensive RAM can be implemented if simpler cells are used. So, however, such cells do not retain their state indefinitely. Hence, they are called dynamic random access memories. So, information is stored in the dynamic memory cell in the form of a charge on a capacitor, and this charge can be maintained over here. So, the information stored in the form of a charge on a capacitor. So, hence this charge can be maintained only for tens of milliseconds. So, content must be periodically refreshed. Hence, this is going to be called as dynamic random access memories. Let us see about a single transistor dynamic memory cell. So here an example which have been given over here. The diagram shows that it needs a refresh periodically to hold the data. Okay, and a dynamic memory cell which consisting of a capacitor C and a transistor T as shown in this figure. So capacitor C and a transistor which has been connected. Transistor has been connected to a word line and the bit line, which is going to be shown in this figure. In order to store the information in the cell, the transistor T is turned on and an appropriate voltage is going to be supplied or applied to the bit line. This causes a known amount of charge to be stored in the capacitor because of the parallel line. So after the transistor is going to be turned off, the transistor being to discharge. This is caused by the capacitor's own leakage resistance by the fact that the transistor continues to conduct a tiny amount of current measured in picoamperes. After it is turned off, hence the information stored in the cell can be retrieved correctly only if it is read before the charge on the capacitor drops below the threshold value. During a read operation, the transistor in a selected cell is turned on. A sense amplifier connected to this bit line detects whether the charge stored on the capacitor is going to be above the threshold value or below the threshold value. If so, if it is above the threshold value, it derives the bit line to a full voltage that represents logic value as 1. If the voltage recharges or the voltage recharges the capacitor to the full charge, that corresponds to the logic value 1. If the sense amplifier detects that the charge on the capacitor is going to be below the threshold value, which have been or it pulls the bit line to ground level, which ensures that the capacitor will have no charge, which represents that the logic value 0. Thus, reading the content of the cell automatically refreshes its contents. All cells in a selected row and are read at the same time, which refreshes the content of the entire row. The detailed implementation which have been shown in the particular experiment, we can have another organization. In that organization, we can see that particular diagram, particular operation. So if you're going to see about that, we can take an example of 16 megabit DRAM. Okay, 16 megabit DRAM, which can be configured as 2 mega into 8 or 4 cross 4 arrays like that. We can study about this. So the diagram which have been shown over is going to be called as an asynchronous DRAM here, which consisting of a 4096 cells in each row are divided into 512 groups of 8 bits, so that a row can store 512 bytes of data. Therefore, we need 12 address lines, 12 address bits are needed to select a row. Another 9 bits are needed to specify a group of 8 bits in the selected row. Thus, 21-bit address is needed to access a byte in this memory. So the higher order 12 bits and the lower order 9 bits of the address constitutes the particular row and the column address of the byte respectively. So to reduce the number of pins needed for external connection, The row and the column addresses are multiplexed on 12 pins. During a read or write operation, the row address is specified or applied first. It is loaded into the row address latch. It's going to be called as RAS bar. That is going to be loaded in the row address latch. Then address latch input of the chip. Then a read operation is going to be initiated, in which all cells on the selected row are read and refreshed. Shortly after the row address is going to be loaded, the column address is going to be applied CAS through a CAS bar signal and loaded into the column address latch under the CAS pin. The information in this latch is decoded and appropriate group of 8 sense bar write circuit are selected with the read bar read/write bar and the chip select pin. If the read bar write control signal indicates a read operation, the output values of the selected circuits are transferred to the data line, which is going to be D0 to D7. If, for example, if a write operation, the information on the D7 to D0 is transferred to the selected circuit, this information is going to be then used to overwrite the content of the selected cell in the corresponding 8 column. We should not say that in the commercial DRAM chip, the RAS and CS control signals are active low so that they cause the latching of addresses when they change from high to low. To indicate this fact, we have mentioned as RAS bar and CAS bar over here. Applying a row address causes all cells on the corresponding row to be read and refreshed during both read and write operation. To ensure that the content of the DRAM are maintained, each row of cells must be accessed periodically. A refresh circuit usually performs these functions automatically. Many dynamic RAM chips incorporate a refresh facility within the chip themselves. In this case, the dynamic nature of this memory chip is almost invisible to the user. In the DRAM, the timing of the memory device is controlled asynchronously. So a specialized memory controller circuit provides the particular necessary control signals of RSA and CAS and RAS that govern the timing. So the processor must take into the account the delay in the response of the memory. Such memories are referred as asynchronous DRAMs. Because of their high density and low cost, DRAMs are widely used in the memories of computers, and available chips range in size from 1 mega to 256 megabits. And even larger chips are being developed. To reduce the number of memory chips needed in a given computer, DRAM is organized to read or write a number of bits in parallel, as well as to provide the flexibility in designing memory chips or memory systems. The chips are manufactured in different organizations. For example, a 64 megabit chip may be organized as 16M cross 4, 8M cross 8, or 4M cross 16, etc. Such a way it's going to be get manufactured. Next, we are going to see about a fast page mode. What actually the fast page mode? When the DRAM is accessed, the content of all 4096 cells in the selected row are sensed, but only 8 bits are placed on the data line D7 to D0. This bytes is selected by the column address bits A8 to A0. A simple modification can make it possible to access the other types in the same row without having to reselect the row. A latch can be added at the output of the sense amplifier in each column. The application of a row address will load the latches corresponding to all bits in the selected row. Then it is only necessary to apply different column addresses to place the different bytes on the data line. The most useful arrangement is used to transfer the byte in sequential order, which is achieved by applying a consecutive sequence of the column address under the control of a successive CAS signal. This schemes allows transferring a block of data at a much faster than the can be achieved for transferring involving the random addresses. The block transfer facility is referred as page mode feature. Okay, popularly we can say that a small group of bytes as blocks and larger group as pages. So the faster rate attainable in block transfer can be exploited in the application in which memory access follows regular patterns, such as in the graphical terminals. So this features is also beneficial in general purpose computers for transferring the data blocks between main memory and the cache memory. Okay, so suppose if we need to access a consecutive bytes in selected row, this can be done without having to reselect the rows, isn't it? So yeah, such a small collection or a group of bytes is usually added a block. This blocks transfer is going to be called as a page or a fast page mode of feature. So here the scheme allows a transferring of a block of data at a much faster rate than can be achieved for transferring involving a random access. So this facility is going to be called as fast page mode.